Good evening and welcome to the UKSR GT3 League Round 4 from Oulton Park in the UK. I am James Parfit and I will be bringing you all the action this evening, broadcast live on the UK Sim Racing Twitch channel and using iRacing, the world's premier simulator. Now guys, we are coming literally to the end of practice before we go into qualifying tonight. Now this is round 4 guys, so we've only got 2 rounds left after this week, so bringing you all the action on the 22nd of May will be round 5, and that's coming from Interlagos. Okay, so make sure you put that down in your diary. 22nd of May is round 5 from Interlagos, and then we round out the season on the 5th of June, round 6 at Donington Park. Now that is going to be an absolutely amazing event. Now last week guys, we had Cy Anthony and James Armstrong, the winners, victorious last week as well, and that was at Road America, so definitely have a look back at that on the UKSR Twitch channel. Welcome in Ollie Pimley, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Simon Bamber, evening. Simon starts off the evening well. They're subscribed for 2 months in a row, currently on a 1-month streak. So welcome into you, Mr. Bamba. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate the fact that the Grand Prix is on TV, but you have taken your Sundays to come and join us for this epic evening of racing with 22 cars on track currently registered for the session. So we've got 22 cars taking part in this evening's race. Now guys, as you can see on the top of your screen, current settings for this absolutely amazing race at Oulton Park. We are in May the 7th, 2022. Mr. Mint, evening to you. The current time is 20 to 2 in the afternoon. We're going to have 7-mile-an-hour winds and it's 35 degrees track temperature. So it's going to be a hot one at 35 degrees centigrade. It's going to be absolutely epic. The drivers are going to have to do their stuff tonight, I tell you that much, because I am, well, it's going to be very exciting. Let's put it this way, as it always is in the GT3s. Now, the format for this evening, we have got a 10-minute qualifying, which will, or 5 laps will be on. Then we got a 22-minute race decided by the grid, and grid decided by qualifying, sorry. And then 22-minute reverse grid top 15. So we're going to have a top 15 reverse. So that's going to be absolutely epic there. So hopefully that will all get you into the mood to get us going for this evening. Now, as I say, thank you so much for joining us. As I say, Miami is on. We all are excited. I'm watching it after the race. No spoilers. I don't want to know what is going on because at the end of the day, I want to watch it. Okay, so please, no spoilers in chat. That's the rules for this evening, and you don't want to upset the commentator. The commentator's spoken, and that is that. So yeah, no spoilers. Anyone, Mr. Mint, talking to you. Hope you are well, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you've had a very busy Sunday. Hope you enjoyed yourself down the park, Mr. Murray Luca. I've had a very busy day. Having my sister's 50th birthday party today. So that was nice. We've got 35 people squeezed into a house, into a 3-bed house. Hamilton is twerking in the pits. Nice. Thanks very much. I really don't want to imagine Hamilton twerking, but you know, it is what it is. So as you can see at the bottom of your screen, guys, qualifying is on now, and we have got about 10 minutes remaining for that. On the bottom, guys, we'll tell you all what is happening with the drivers. You see, currently they're all green and purple because they're all done their outlaps and flying around for the next ones. Josh Pratt is currently purple all the way around. So is Yanis Olber. He is purple in Sector 1. So this is going to be an absolute epic qualifying battle. See who can get on pole. Can Yanis get on pole? Can anyone stop James Armstrong doing the business in the Audi? Now, this week I did something crazy. I went and bought the Audi. I've been talking about it for a while, and I sucked it up this week. I just went and purchased the Audi, and I was like, yes, I've got an Audi, so I must be James Armstrong. Little did I know, went down into Cascades after my outlap, and the back end of the Audi decided to come and join me on the front. Now I was like, okay, so that must be me, right? You know, I've got a bit of a club foot. Maybe I'm going a little bit hard. So next one, I managed to get out past my outlap, come down into Cascades, car had a bit of wiggle on, I managed to save it. I was like, yay me, check me out. And then I went to the first left-hander of Lakeside and decided it would be a good idea to go across the hairpin backwards as the back end decided to come and join me again. So I was like, right, this can't be me this time. You know what I mean? It can't be me. I know I'm bad, but, you know, I'm an expert, really. You know what I mean? So I got on little Discord and I was like, Mr. Armstrong, help me out, please. My back end keeps joining the front in my Audi. What am I doing wrong? And then he turned around and said, you got to have a look at your diff settings, James. I was like, oh, right, okay. Got to do something complicated to a setup that I have no idea what I'm doing. So there you go. I haven't quite got out yet, and I haven't quite messed around with the diff settings yet because, as I say, I went out today and then I've been broadcasting tonight. And I want to sit and watch the Grand Prix later, so I don't think I'm going to get any driving in tonight either. And then tomorrow night I've got do some bit of work in the evening to catch up with things and update everything. Don't forget, guys, you can head across over to my Twitter at jparfit12 or go to jamesparfit.co.uk as I update the website later of where I will be next week. So come and join me. It's going to be an absolutely epic week of racing. So when am I going to have time to drive the Audi again? I have no idea. Basically. So we're going to have to see what happens. Josh Pratt is currently in second place on a 1:31.13 as I carry on chatting and waffling on and completely forgetting that there is something actually going on in front of me, which would be qualifying and the 7.5 minutes in this GT3 league. So, you know, hey, let's stop waffling, James, to get into the action. Just to say, Yannis Oulton is currently on pole on a 1:30.6. Now, let's have a look at this man because, you know, he's been a tough one to crack this week, and he's in this series, you know. There he is, flashing his lights, knowing he's on camera. I love it how he knows, sits and watches the broadcast at the same time. Absolutely incredible. You know, James has been doing his thing, as we know, this season. He's taken victories, and he won again last week. So are we going to stop him? Can anyone stop the mighty James Armstrong? It's going to be a tough one for people because James is doing the biz in the Audi. I'm not going to lie. He's doing his thing. He managed to get a victory last week, which was absolutely amazing. But, you know, what's going to happen this season? It's absolutely incredible. And can anyone really stop James currently at the moment? We're going to have to find out his current championship standings. All right, so we've got James Armstrong in first on 116. Now, he has only got a 10-second gap over Daniel Blomqvist, who is in second, who isn't here this week. Cy Anthony's in third on 104, so is Yannis Oulton on 104 as well. And then we got quite a big gap down to Darryl Norkett. Now, at the end of the day, we all know that it really doesn't count. You know, we've still got 2 rounds left. A lot can happen. But can the mighty James Armstrong be stopped this season, or is he going to take the victory as we jump on board with James? Now, don't forget, this is the international circuit, guys. We have got both chicanes. We got Britain's, which we are coming up to now, which are going to go on the brakes down into second gear, straight line the entry, and out through the exit we go. And then we're going to come up over Hilltop and drop down into the second chicane, which is down in Hislop. So we're going to go right for that, left for that, and then off we go again around Knickerbrook. Now, David, lift off the throttle, up the hill, get on the accelerator, and away we go up over the top of Clay Hill. Now, under the bridge we go. We're going to go left here, and then we're going to go jink right for Druids. 4th gear for James. Well done, James Armstrong. That would have been me and the wall in 4th. But he's purple, guys. You can see him at the bottom. Purple, 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 purple on one green sector. Is this going to be pole? I can't see anybody going quicker than James at the moment. It's purple all the way around the road, all the way around the lap. He hugs that inside line, shortest route to the line, and currently pops it on pole on a 1:30.11. 1:30.11 for Mr. James Armstrong, and now pops him on pole. Now, we've got a couple of people who haven't registered times. One of them is this man, Cy Anthony. Come on, Cy, bring it home. Well, he's going to have a go, I'm sure. Cy has a go every single week, and he puts in an absolute stellar job. So, you know, let's see what he can do. But at the moment, he's not set a time, so he must be having a bit of a rough one. Unless, of course, he's just waiting back patiently. Waiting patiently is Cy Anthony, and he's going to go and pop it on pole very shortly. But if you are here, guys, don't forget we do have a follow goal of 380 followers. We are 4 away, so if you can hit the follow button, that would be absolutely amazing. Salji hit the follow button. Duck, Cat and Wine Racing, who do, I hope Richard Simnar's cats are not too offended about the fact that I cut them out of the name during one of the P Cup races, but I did openly apologise live on the broadcast. Cy Anthony just manages to pop it in 3rd place on a 1:30.69. Now he's got about 3.5 minutes remaining to see if he can improve that time. That would be absolutely incredible for Cy Anthony if he can, because at the end of the day, he's got to try and stay as close as he can to James Armstrong and Yannis Oulton, because otherwise you start losing touch with them, you're going to lose touch, aren't you? You know what I mean? So, but thank you for taking time out, guys. As I say, on your Sunday evenings, I do appreciate the F1 is on, and most of us who are sim racers, we loved a little bit of F1. So if you have got us on, say hi, come and have a chat with us. You know, as Mr. Murray is there and Simon Bambi, Simon Bambi. Anyway, Simon Bamba and Ollie Pimley there has also joined us. Thank you so much, guys, as well. Ollie is on track at the moment, so I'm not so sure how he's in chat, but there he is in his BMW, doing the biz. Currently done about just coming up to 3.5 laps. So he's got about 1.5 remaining of his time if he hasn't already done. His maximum time pace is 1:32.2, so he's about 2.1 seconds off. Not sure he's going to settle for that. So let's see what Ollie Pimley can do. Still got no times from Niall Toppin or Grant Jones, but Rob Armstrong is down in 15th. Chris Eddersford is in 8th. There's a lot of Audis this evening, a lot of Audis dominating the board. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7 Audis and 1 McLaren of Niall Toppin. So that should be an interesting one as we've got about 2 minutes remaining of qualifying. Yannis Ulbert last lap is not going to count as he went off track. If you wonder what all of a sudden the flash of red means on their name, it means they've gone off track. So it means they're not going to have that lap. Okay. So, yeah, Yannis Ulbert went off track there as well. So he's not going to have, he's going to have to go again and see what he can do. But, yeah, I'm excited. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's enjoyed the weather today because I'm not going to lie, it's been a hot one today. I've been in shorts and a T-shirt all day. It's just been too hot. I don't know about anybody else, but it has just been too hot. As you can see, some of the names flashing up on the bottom. Chris Edderford is green in sector 2 and 3. Damien G not improving. Tyson Blanda not improving. James Connolly not currently improving on their times. So that's going to be see how they finish up. Darren Sharples has done green in sector 4 for his improvements, but currently is down in 19th place. So not doing too well is Darren Sharples. He needs to kind of get a little bit of a wriggle on, but I'm sure he will. I'm sure they all will tonight. 22 drivers on track. We're going to have an absolutely stellar race. I am feeling it in my bones. So, yeah, if you have come and join us, you're going to be in for an epic treat. Don't forget, 22-minute sprint, grid decided by qualifying. Then we go into race 2. 22-minute sprint, top 15 reverse. Now, on this track itself, it is tight. So that second race should absolutely be an barnstorming race as Ollie Pimley doesn't improve. He does a 1:32.46. Chris Eddersford here. What is Chris going to do in the Audi as well? It's a very Audi dominated grid, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that as Chris is coming up around Druids. He goes to the left-hander before the end of the session. Chris has improved in sector 2 and 3, but that currently is the end of that one. And here is the grid, guys. We've got James Armstrong in first place, Yannis Ulbert second, Cy Anthony third, Josh Pratt in fourth, Jeff Griffiths in fifth, Joel Amos sixth, Stephen Masters seventh, Gary Truby in eighth, Chris Eddersford in ninth, Ollie Pimley 10th, David Lawson is in 11th, Dino Pereira 12th, Edin Fazina in 13th, Rob Armstrong 14th, Damien G in 15th, Kevin Burke in 16th, James Connolly 17th, Tyson Belanda 18th, Darren Sharples 19th, Tom Farrell 20th, Grant Jones 21st, and Niall Toppin 22nd place. So there you go. Keep an eye on that one to see what happens. But we're going to jump on board. There is the looming James Armstrong. We are aboard the pace car currently at the moment. So we're going to have to see how this one works out. There is Yannis Ulbert joined us as well, but we are on the gearbox of the pace car. Time for food. We'll catch up later, guys. Have a good one. Later, you've only got 44 minutes, Mr. Murray. What are you going to do? "44 minutes? You've got time for later." Right, so here we go, guys, coming in along now. We're just waiting for all the cars to get on track. Kevin Wesley Burke and Niall Toppin. And then we're going to be off on the pace car lap. As you can see, we've started just before Druids, guys, under the bridge and just near the water tower. And then we're going to start in the corner of Druids for this 22 minutes flat out sprint race of the GT3 League from Oulton Park in the UK. Right. Here we go. Waiting now for Kevin Wesley back, and still Mr. Niall Topping to get on track. We are on the gearbox of the pace car, guys. We can see all the cars there. There's going to be an absolutely epic sprint down into turn one. Right, here we go. Kevin Wesley Burke is in the pits. He's jumped straight into the pits. There we go, on this very slow pace lap. On board the pace car. Right. Let's see who managed to get it done. Yanis Albert, James Armstrong. You see him climbing all over the back of our gearbox. Don't like this. Come round the last corner now. We're going to jump on board with James Armstrong. There he is. So the pace car's going to peel off. Here we go. James backs him up in his customary way. He's gone now. Here we go. GT3's round 4, Oulton Park, and we are green, green, green. Armstrong's got an absolute flyer out in front. He went off track. He's managed to keep the lead though, so he's managed to hold it, but he's come down into Cascades now. He's got to be careful on his first time round. No incident so far, guys, or nothing to report from Gary Truby in the middle. He's got Stephen Masters tucked right all over the back of him. Kevin Wesley Burke has come out of the pit lane. So he's off and ready and up and running as well, but currently out in front. We've got James Armstrong in first place. Further back, Dino Pereira making moves on the inside of Chris Heddersford on that way around Shell Oils, coming into the first time. Into Britain's we go, and Dino Pereira moving up into 8th place. James Armstrong is currently flying out in front. Cy Anthony has not got that much sitting comfortable at the moment. He's got an Audi in front in Yanis Olber. He's got an Audi behind in Josh Pratt. And he's really going to have to go for it as they come around Knickerbrook and up the hill. Now, under the bridge we go. And then round we go now into Druids. Cy Anthony there. Oh, David Lawson's had a crash. David Lawson has gone off. There's David in the Ferrari. So we're coming up over the hill of Hilltop. This is going to be a little bit of a weird one. Was this involved with Rob Armstrong, or was this completely independent? Oh, little tap there from Rob. And David Lawson manages to keep it going again, but that was not on. That was a break up in front. And unfortunately, the brakes were on, and Rob there just go into the back of David Lawson. They've managed to swap positions, but James Armstrong currently out in front at a 1.64 second gap and is absolutely flying. It's Audi, BMW, Audi, Porsche, BMW, Audi, Ferrari, BM and Audi round out your top 10 tonight. Guys, David Lawson's been off track. I'm sure he will be fine. He's currently down now, all the way down in 20th, so it must have been a big one, because he's just run off again, and he's tucked up behind Rob Armstrong. Oh, Cascades, and I can put that down into rear left, rear right tyre, hitting the grass on the entry to Cascades, and you cannot stop these cars. Cy Anthony there involved in an epic battle with Yanis Olbert. Grant Jones here trying to give James Connolly a run for his money in the BMW as they go down now. They go left. These guys are currently coming round Knickerbrook, up over Hilltop we go. All the times on the top are your distancing gaps from your leader on the top of the screen, so you can finish and keep an eye on your guy as we go down now with about 18.5 minutes remaining. Coming down now, James Connolly is got Damien G in front of him. Another battle. Stephen Masters, Gary Truby, Dino Pereira coming down into turn one. This is currently the battle for 8th place, and Stephen Masters is leading and taking the 8th at the moment. But he has got the charging Dino Pereira right behind him. Oh, there's enough. There's enough. Who has gone down the order? That's Gary Truby. Gary Truby has been off track. Oh, was that Gary or was that Tyson? Actually, it might have been Tyson, but no, it was Gary Truby. Oh, Tyson has gone round, mind you. He went round on the exit there of Druids. But that was actually Gary Truby, and it didn't register anything. So he must have been literally crawling at that point. But poor old Mr. Truby is down in 11th place now after having his absolute flying start, and he didn't quite get it, and he's unfortunately there not being able now. He's gone down the order into 11th. David Lawson, Darren Sharples having this epic battle going into his slops now. On the exit they go there. David Lawson putting in a shift at the moment after spinning down in Cascades with the rear right tyre hitting the grass, and unfortunately that just goes around. There's nowhere to go. You cannot hit the brakes into Cascades on that grass. I have found that out many a time, regardless of the car you were in. But on board with David Lawson now. Darren Sharples in front of us, car number 7. Oh, he's got to be looking to get an exit. There's another spinner there. That's Tom Farrell. Tom Farrell's gone round. Poor old Tom just lost it on the exit, I believe, and he's now gone round as well. Tyson Belander's had another incident. Oh, poor Tyson's having a bit of a rough one. As we're coming down now, the Tyson Belander in the Porsche up over the hill. Is he still coming into Druids again? Is he struggling to get this Porsche on the deck? He is. Look at that. Tyson Belander and that Porsche are not comfortable and is not managing to hold on to it there. In the middle of the field, though, Dino Pereira has now got the ever-looming Audi of Mr. Chris Edisford pulling right up behind him, 0.3 seconds back, and currently cannot give him a shake-off. He's not able to shake him. Chris sticking with him in the Audi. These guys going round, up over the hill they go, and then coming into Druids. Joel Amos has been off, and he is still managing to go, though. He's still in 6th place in that BMW, but he has been off track. Tom Farrell, it's just unfortunately having a bit of a rough one as he goes round Shell Oils in the Ferrari. Is this going to be on the entry into Britain's? And I can guarantee touch the grass, left-hand side. Oh, Tom. Oh, he's got too close to the tyre barrier. Too close for Mr. Farrell to the barrier there, and unfortunately didn't manage to hold it sticking. Battle for 8th place. Dino Pereira in 8th. Ollie Pimley behind him. Dino Pereira in 8th, sorry. Chris Edisford behind that, and Ollie Pimley. So here we go, guys, as well. They're going to be having a good old go at each other as we see now the order of car logos across the top of your screen. Oh, Dino Pereira's gone in deep. That's brought Chris Edisford right up behind him now. Is this going to be Chris to make that move into Britain's? You've got to be a brave man to make this stick. Straight line it as much as you can. Turn right. Off we go with Mr. Edisford now. Let's have a look and see what he's seeing. The big looming BMW of Dino Pereira is filling his... Oh, Chris got close to that tyre barrier then. Edisford nearly touched that tyre barrier and unfortunately could have really caught himself out. It's Audi, BMW Audi, Porsche of Jeff Griffiths, who's doing an absolutely stellar job and in that top end of the field. He's now in 5th. Car number 19, we've got Josh Pratt in front of us with a gap of about 1.03 seconds. So he's doing a stellar job there, but Edisford, Pereira, Pimley and Truby are still mixed up in a battle. And this man, Darren Sharples, has got Grant Jones in front of us in the BM. And we've got David Lawson behind us in the Ferrari. So this is a battle on the freeway, 16, 17 and 18. On your screen right now, Sharples, Lawson and Jones. Oh, Sharples making it so difficult for Lawson to get through there. Is Lawson going to make this move? If he's going to do it, he's got to be looking. He's going to go close into Cascades. He has to, right? Because if he's going to do it, this track is really quite a tight circuit. And these big booming GT3s, there isn't a lot of room to be making passes on the track in general. So you would be looking now down into the hairpin. He's got to be looking at trying to get up the inside. The problem is he goes around this hairpin, he's faced with Britain's chicane, then he's got a little run up over Hilltop, but then he's at the bottom again with another chicane, and there's just nowhere for Mr. Lawson to make this stick. On the left-hand side, James Connolly has just got overtaken by Grant Jones in the BMW. So Grant Jones, that's because I believe it must have been an off track for James Connolly there, because he literally was really slow coming out of Britain's and then up over the hill on that run down, and he was really slow coming out. But currently, as you can see, we've got 12.5 minutes remaining. We've got Tom Farrell's in the pits. We know what's happened to Tom, knocking out the tyre barrier at Britain's, and unfortunately for that, I've done that as well, and it's possible that he's gone and taken out the steering, and that's never good, because the repairs are going to be literally a long old time. So I think that could be the end of Tom Farrell now. But David Lawson has got past Darren Sharples there. You can see it on screen. We've got a looming Kevin Wesley Burke. Now, if we have a look at the current gainers and losers in this race, you can see we start up in with Mr. Armstrong. The only one who's really gained much in that top 10 is Dino Pereira. Rob Armstrong's up 2. But later, you can see it on the board, further down, Grant Jones is up 6 places. Biggest gainer in the race so far, and is doing an absolute stellar job for Grant Jones there. So keep it up, Grant. Let's see how you can get on as we go now coming into the last 11.5 minutes of this race at Oulton Park. Right, Ollie Pimley, excuse me, Gary Truby has really closed the gap now. Ollie's in the BM in front there. Gary is behind us, car number 12, tucked up right behind us, and we've got Chris Eddersford in front. So this is the battle for 9th. Eddersford, Pimley, Truby, as these guys are heading down into Old Hall now. 10 minutes remaining. We are on lap 8. So James Armstrong currently your leader. Yanis Olbert, mind you, has got about half a second to Cy Anthony. Armstrong's been off track again. He's got to keep that down to the limit if we can, because at the end of the day, doesn't want to get a drive through. But Yanis Olbert here has got the absolute flying Welsh Dragon that is Cy Anthony, and Cy is not going to let him off easily, okay? He's not. Cy is going to give him as much pressure as he is allowed. Pedro Oliveira is raiding with a party of 3. Much love to you. Thank you so much for joining us here. As we can see currently Yanis Olbert in second with Anthony behind him. As these guys coming round, Drew is going to be a dab of the brakes, and away we go again. There is the flying Armstrong out in front. Currently though, top 15, pole man's going to be Grant Jones. Grant Jones will be on pole if this stays as they are. Let's go, Pedro. Going to hit up Pedro Oliveira there for hitting us with a raid of 3. Much love to you. Thank you so much for coming over to the UKSR Twitch channel. If you are here for the first time, please hit that follow button. We have got a follow goal of 380 and we're currently on 377. Eddersford, Pereira, Pimley. The gap to Pimley though has dropped off to about a second. So that's really taking shape at the moment, and then allowing Mr. Eddersford to get closer and closer and closer to settle down and get down to Dino Pereira. However, Yanis Olbert is not comfortable. He's not comfortable partly because of this man, Cy Anthony, doing the biz. We've got Audi, BM, Audi, Porsche, and then we get back into the BM. Stephen Masters there, the fastest Ferrari currently on track, doing an absolute stellar job for him. There's been a lot of off tracks, but I believe these are people that are still going and have just probably tagged. James Armstrong's been off a couple of times. Sharples, Truby, Sharples again. So these guys are going to have to be a little bit more careful as they're coming into the last 8 minutes of this race 1. Yanis Olber, Cy Anthony still sitting close together. But here, look at this mix of cars. Stephen Masters is the fastest Ferrari. He's got about a 0.8 second gap at this moment in time. However, Dino Pereira has got 0.29 of a gap to the flying Englishman. That is Mr. Chris Edisford, UKSR. Oh, there was contact there. Chris getting out of shape. Did he manage to hold it? He did, and he didn't lose a lot of time. That was a save and a half by Mr. Edisford, and he's still all over the back of Pereira. He's pulled over. Oh, no. Oh. What happened there? Just bounced into the pits with about 7.5 minutes remaining. What has happened to Mr. Edisford? That's never good. Let's see if we can get any information on that. Why Chris Edisford jumped into the pits. Here in ninth, though, is Ollie Pimley. Gary Truby tucked up right behind him. James Connolly there is sitting with David Lawson behind us. And we've got Grant Jones in front. So we're going to have to try and get a bit of a wiggle on as we're going to look back. There is the looming David Lawson in the Ferrari, trying to get onto the back of James Connolly as we go around Lakeside and down through the hairpin we go with these guys. This is the battle for 14th, 15th and 16th. David Lawson there right behind us in that Ghostbusters livery, doing the business, coming through Britain's now. We can see how bad that is. Let's have a look on this run. Oh no, Chris, nothing to do with F1 start. Maybe he's nipped off to have a look. I don't know. I'm not watching it. I don't want to know. So please, no spoilers this week. No spoilers at all. As we're still on the back now. We have got, unfortunately though, look at this. Giannis Olber has opened up a 0.65 second gap from Cy Anthony with about 6.5 minutes remaining. Can Cy close that back up again? Who knows? We're going to have to find out. 11th and 12th. Rob Armstrong here has got Edin Vazina right coming up behind him as well. We've got about 0.8 seconds. But this gap here, look at this. James Connolly, David Lawson coming down in the two looming Ferraris there. Lawson was thinking about going up the inside. The gap come right down. And Jones is sitting in 14th at the moment. And he's got two giants in Ferraris coming right up behind him. The problem is that BMW is a mountain of a car. And I don't just mean in height. It is a beast. There's some things in that BMW that you can hit that won't ruin the car. But you put it in a Ferrari or anywhere else, and unfortunately you are in damaged, and that is the way it is going to end for you. So we go back further down the field. This is the recovering Darren Sharples and Tyson Valander. Chris Edisford still in the pits. Tom Farrell, I believe, is out. So is Niall Toppin. Keep an eye on the top of the board there, guys. We'll tell you what is happening with these guys. As you see, they are out and out. Farrell and Toppin are unfortunately out of the race. But here we go. Look at Dino Pereira. Now got Ollie Pimley so close. 0.5 seconds. Currently, as we're going round now, up across the start finishing line, coming down into Old Hall. These guys doing an absolute stellar job as we're heading round Old Hall there. Pimley taking an off track. I can tell you that now. That was a little bit of a wide run. Going down into Cascades now. Masters, Pereira, Pimley, battle for 7th place. Oh, we need to catch this. Oh, David Lawson and James Connolly still having an absolute epic scrap as these guys are on the run down into Cascades. The left-hander now. See it there with David Lawson on board for 5th. We're going to run it round Lakeside. Round through Islands we go. Down through the gears, down into first gear. David Lawson seems to be a little bit quicker visually. Can he get this car moving again? He goes up into third now, up into 4th. On the brakes, down into 2nd we go. Going right. Oh, this is our run. This is our run. Darren Sharples got very slow. Connolly got very slow out. They are going to go too wide down into his slops. Oh, Lawson thinks better of it. Oh, Connolly's got in deep. Can Lawson hold the line? He's got to look at trying to get off up over Hilltop. Oh, climbing up now, up under the bridge we go. Round on the right hand of Druids. Oh, Connolly's got in deep. This is it. This is it. Lawson take the inside line. He didn't take the inside. Can he hold it on the outside line? Going down into Lodge. David Lawson now. Oh, that would have been a cutback for me. Let me know in chat what you think. Would you have cut back? Because Connolly did leave the door open. The door was there for Lawson to take that inside line. But he's going to try and take the inside line in turn one. Oh, down into Cascades they go. Oh, no. Poor Ollie Pimley. Ollie Pimley, what have you been up to, sir? Coming down over Hilltop, we go down into Hislops. Okay, we're still going at the moment. Oh, we just go round on the entry to Knickerbrook. But we managed to keep going again. We have lost a position down to Rob Armstrong and Edin Vazina. But that is Ollie Pimley up and running again. Right. David Lawson, Mr. Connolly, they're still having their epic battle. Stephen Masters has got the ever-looming Dino Pereira behind him. We're going to keep an eye on the leaders. They're not on the last lap yet. James Armstrong is just currently going round Shell Oils. So there's going to be one more lap, and then we're going to be on the white flag. I thought here, when Connolly didn't get that run right, I would have taken the inside line. At the moment, though, Lawson has gone round the outside. Oh, he took the inside line at the last corner. He's made it stick this time. David Lawson gets the job done over James Connolly. Kevin Wesley Burke dives into the pits. Chris Edisford still in the pits. Maybe Simon Bamber. It may have been the F1 start. Who knows? But we still have 22 cars on track at the moment. And David Lawson is one of them making a move here. Steve Masters, though. Dino Pereira, battle for 7th place. Coming down to the last lap of the race. What is Masters and Pereira going to do? We're going to follow James Armstrong across the line as we see the ever-looming Barney there. As we see Armstrong go whistling past us. Barney, the flag bearer, is going to be waving. Oh, he's gone round! He's gone round, he's off track, last lap! Oh! Can Yanis Hulbert keep up with him? Oh, Yanis Hulbert is going to get the gap closed, but unfortunately I don't think he was close enough. Oh, James Armstrong binning it into Old Hall, and that brought out Yanis Hulbert right back into it, but he just wasn't close enough to capitalise on James Armstrong spinning. So here we go, and now with Dino Pereira on the final lap of the race. Oh, Masters has gone off. Pereira's followed him. They followed each other off track. Dino Pereira and Stephen Masters took the same line. Went off together, and unfortunately there for Dino Pereira, he was unable to capitalise on the fact that Stephen Masters went off. But James Armstrong is a lucky man. He had a big enough gap that allowed him to keep in front of Yanis Hulbert. And James is coming around Druids before he goes into Lodge for the final time this evening. Let's pick up the leader. There is James Armstrong. There is Yanis Hulbert. James looks to have fried his tyres. Is this going to be a run? James Armstrong currently out in front. We're taking the lead of the race, and the victory does in race one. James Armstrong there, Yanis Hulbert second, Cy Anthony in third, Josh Pratt very lonely fourth, Jeff Griffiths in the Porsche doing a stellar job there, Joel Amos down in 13th place. Stephen Masters, however, is not sitting comfortably. We've got Dino Pereira right behind us at the moment. Half a second back, and we're going to cross the line in that order. So I believe Stephen Masters in 7th, Dino Pereira in 8th, Rob Armstrong in 9th place in the Audi there. Edin Vizina in 10th. Ollie Pimley in 11th. Gary Truby in 12th. Damien G comes across the line in 13th place. David Lawson has had an epic battle with Grant Jones and James Connolly. Managed to take 14th place. There you go, Grant Jones and James Connolly down to the line together. Connolly 15th, Jones 16th. And here is Kevin Wesley Burke there for the final run down into Lodge we go. Oh, he runs off wide. Oh, he's not had a good one. I think James is tired from the 4-hour endurance he did earlier. You reckon? Is that why? Wacko, is that what you think? If you are here, don't forget, guys, as well, for the first time, please hit that follow button. That would be an absolute stellar job. Here are the results. James Armstrong in first place. Yannis Ober in second. Cy Anthony in third. Josh Pratt in fourth. Jeff Griffiths in fifth. Joel Amos in sixth. Stephen Masters in seventh. Dino Pereira in eighth. Rob Armstrong in 9th, Edin Vizina in 10th, Ollie Pimley in 11th, Gary Truby in 12th. Damien G is 13th, David Lawson 14th, James Connolly 15th, Grant Jones 16th, Kevin Wesley Burt there in 17th place, Tyson Belander in 18th, Darren Sharples in 19th, Chris Edisford just literally stopped off track and went in 20th, Tom Farrell 21st, Niall Toppin in 22nd place. So there you go. So that rounds out now. We've just got a little bit of a minute warm-up before we get going for race 2. James Armstrong was very lucky there. If Yannis Ulbert happened to be a second or a bit quicker, that could have been a lot tighter going into this last lap. But James managed to hold on to it. So well done to him. But he was a lucky boy to manage to get away from that one and didn't get into danger with Yannis Ulbert. So we've got, as we said before, as we jump on the gearbox with the pace car, we're going to have currently Jeff Griffiths. James Connolly will be in the grid. Let's give you a quick rundown of the grid. James Connolly in first, David Lawson second, Damien G third, Gary Truby fourth, Ollie Pimley fifth, Edin Vizina sixth, Rob Armstrong in seventh, Dino Pereira eighth, Stephen Masters ninth, Joel Amos in 10th, Jeff Griffiths in 11th, Josh Pratt 12th, Cy Anthony 13th, Yannis Ulbert 14th, James Armstrong there in 15th, Grant Jones in 16th, Kevin Wesley Burt down in 17th, Tyson Verlander 18th, Darren Sharples 19th, Chris Edisford in 20th, Tom Farrell in 21st, and Niall Toppin in 22nd place. So we've got another booming 22 minutes of action as we jump back on board with the pace car with a Ferrari of James Connolly sitting in pole position. James Connolly in the pole there. That is an absolute stellar job from James. Dino Pereira has crashed already, according to this at the back. I don't think Niall Toppin has made it out. I'm not sure Tom Farrell did either. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Let's see what James Connolly does. Is he going to try and stick as close as he can to the pace car and drop it when the pace car goes in? Right, here we go, on board with the pace car. Going to go left round the last corner. We're going to be diving off shortly. There we go, let's pick up James Connolly. Not quite sure what's going on. I don't know if we've gone or not, but I believe he has. James Connolly now takes the lead as we go down into turn 1 of the action further back. Rob Armstrong, Edin Vizina, Gary Truby. There's been an incident involving this man, and he is down off track already, and that is Tyson Belander in the mix. Let's have a look what has happened to James Armstrong as he went off track. That's actually Jeff Griffiths. Oh, I believe Yannis Ulbert was involved in that, and I don't believe it was completely Jeff Griffiths' fault. Nope. Yannis tried to go up the inside, which unfortunately took him in to James Armstrong. So James is now in a very battered Audi, at the back of the field behind Kevin Wesley-Bird. But James Connolly still managing to hold the lead at the moment as we've got David Lawson. These guys resume their battle in race 2, and Down absolutely doing a stellar job. Chris Edisford is in the midfield at the moment in 13th. He's up 7 places, doing an amazing job for him. So let's bring up gaps on the top at the moment, guys. If you see there, car logos, manufacturers, Ferrari, Audi, BM, Ferrari. So it's Ferrari 3 out of the top 6 at the moment. And then we got BMW, and then the Audi of Gary Truby. Now Gary was quick, unfortunately had a little bit of an incident in race 1 which involved him spinning. Got a very slow exit, unfortunately didn't recover. But James Connolly at the moment has only got 20 minutes and he is doing an absolute stellar job, is James. He's out in front, he's keeping David Lawson behind him at the moment. David's going to be wanting to get a run through though, because he knows he's got the ever-looming Gary Truby in the Audi behind us. So there is James. Now, as we're going to be going to the gearbox of Connolly, here it is, look at that. David Lawson all over the back of us as we're coming into Shell Oils. Oh! That was very close there. As we're coming up through Britain's now, David Lawson still got Gary Truby behind him. This is the battle for first place. Connolly, Lawson, Truby. Now, if Connolly plays this smart, he's only got to position his car in a way that doesn't allow Mr. Lawson through. Now, there's open areas on this track, but there ain't many. One of them is down the start-finish straight. That's where you've got the gap on the right-hand side. If you give up that inside position, as we see David Lawson having a bit of a blink off there, that's never really good. So down the start-finish straight, Connolly could be under attack, right? He's got to be holding it down on the inside. So he's got to go round Lodge, take the inside and run him down the inside. Gary Truby picking his nose out there, peeking his nose out there. Further back though, Yanis Olbert has just managed to get past Grant Jones. Grant did give up there, didn't really give much of a competition, but Grant Jones is tucked up right behind Yanis Olbert. If over in the midfield, I would have a look at all of them involved in this mix, but if you have a look from the chopper, halfway through, it's just one line of cars. We've got Connolly there, he's got Lawson behind, we've got Truby behind us, we've got Pimley in the middle. He's currently in 5th place, and they're all running one line astern. Nobody's really making a move. Josh Pratt has just made a move on Joel Amos, but again, you know, he's got to be careful because that's the battle for P9, and now Josh Pratt is in the line of cars behind the one and only James Connolly out front currently at the moment. So James is doing an absolute stellar job keeping his cars at bay. He's out front. He's doing a 1:33.8. Don't forget, these guys were doing 1:32s, 1:31s in that last race. So it just shows how difficult it is to get past. So up front, there is Connolly, there is Lawson. Lawson's wishing he can clear Connolly, or Connolly makes a mistake, because he's got the looming Gary Truby. Lawson is either going to defend crazy, as is Damien G at the moment from Ollie Pimley, or he's got to be trying to clear Connolly. Now, if I was Connolly, I would not be leaving that inside door wide open, because that would just allow me to get done. Ollie Pimley now has got past Damien G. Heading for Cena now. Damien's coming back on the inside line. Round Old Halls we go down. Oh, Rob Armstrong has gone. Rob has gone, he's in the wall. Not a good second race for the Armstrong family, and unfortunately Rob is plummeting down the order. He come out, I believe, has he come out in front of James? Well, James is still going, but only just. Right. Connolly, however, goes in deep into Shell Oils now. He's got to be trying to keep these guys at bay, and it is difficult. Don't get me wrong, because there are so many talented drivers behind James Connolly, but he's got 16 minutes. That is it. James is trying to hold on for 16 minutes to take his first victory this season, And what a place to do, as we see Yanis Olbert trying to there peek out and go up beside Stephen Masters. Again, not an easy job, but unfortunately, your winner from race 1 is not by any standards of James Armstrong having a good race 2. Round he goes, cannot stop that car, up into shallows, and we do it all backwards. Not good for James Armstrong at the moment. 10 seconds off the pace. Yanis Olbert past Stephen Masters. Let's have a look and see how that one materialised. As we can see it now, we'll jump on board with the chopper. Room left there. Yanis is on the grass to getting the job done, but he manages to make it stick, and that was down into Druids. But all the while, James Connolly, I tell you what, hats off to you, sir. You are doing an absolute magnificent job, currently in first place. So it's Ferrari, Audi, BM and Ferrari as we come around Shell Oils now. Rob's back off track. He's been off track, he's come back on track, and he's went off and come back again. So the Armstrongs now are down in 16th and 17th. James behind Rob, and it's not a good run. But Connolly here, the pressure he is under at this moment in time from David Lawson, he cannot leave at any point that door open. He's got to position his car in a way that doesn't allow the gap to be there. I would, in the middle of Hilltop, sit in the middle of the track, and that isn't. Oh, Damien G off in the wall. Oh, Damien G literally buried in the wall. Oh, whoa. Damien G there. Let's have a look on board. We go over the inside. Oh, that's going to be curb. He can't stop it, look. Oh, and what's worse is he's buried in the wall for poor Damien G, and he's in the barrier and stuck. One of the glitches of iRacing, you cannot get your car out of the barrier. Gary Truby cannot get past Lawson. Pimley cannot get past Truby, and none of them can get past, at the moment in time, James Armstrong. Masters has just been passed to Edisford. That was on the run down into Cascades. Yanis Olbert all over Josh Pratt, but again, it's not going to be easy. Josh can hold this. If he can keep his line and not allow Yanis through, there is no reason Josh cannot keep Yanis Olbert behind him. He's got to do the same as James. He's just got to position his car in a way that Lawson can't get past. Lawson's trying to move around the outside into his slops. You can't let him go, James. Follow him round. Get back on the line. Oh, James Connolly there losing 2 places, and unfortunately now goes down into 3rd. Truby followed Lawson through, and that put Connolly off the racing line, and unfortunately he's now dropped down currently into 3rd place. So let's see how that one materializes there with James Connolly, and whether or not he can get back at it to be able to basically get this car close as he can. But unfortunately he has got the looming Ollie Pimley, and that is going to be a no shout. Yanis Olbert, Chris Edisford there side by side. Yanis past Chris. Oh, Ollie Pimley, Connolly and Fazina nearly coming into contact. There is Chris Edisford taking a big bunch of off track there, going round Old Hall down into Cascades. Can Chris stay with Yanis Olbert to keep on track at the moment? What's happened to Cy Anthony? Why is Cy not on track? He must be still going. Is he out? Cy Anthony is out. I didn't see anything with Cy Anthony on that put him involved in an issue. So I'm not quite sure what's happened to Cy Anthony there. But he's still not going on track at the moment. So that's a bit of a shame for Cy Anthony. But all the while though, David Lawson out in front. Edin Vazina and Pimley were side by side, but Pimley's managed to hold on to 3rd place. Connolly has gone down the order, unfortunately, and this is the reason. Edin Vazina on the inside leaves Connolly nowhere to go is over the grass. He did so well. And now, unfortunately, he's lost a place to Alba and Edisford, but he's still in 7th. So, salvageable there for James Connolly. So, let's keep an eye on that one. We are currently 11 minutes remaining. David Lawson has opened up a 0.7 second of a gap at the moment. So, that is David Lawson doing an absolute stellar job this evening as well. Is absolutely flying. Don't forget, guys, as well, follow goal at the moment 380. We're on 377. Please hit that follow button. Please get us up to 380 as we're into the last 10 minutes of this final race this evening. Don't forget as well, guys, you can follow as well and subscribe if you really like it and you really want to. Or as well, don't forget you can head over to jamesparfit.co.uk. Hit me up over there. You can see where I am live this week, and then you can follow me over at jparfit12 on Twitter. 12x is a joke for a DQ, says James Armstrong. I don't know. I don't set the time. Got 8x on the first lap. None of it my fault. Yes, we did see that, unfortunately. But I will say, though, Mr. Armstrong, that Yanis Ulber may have had a big dose of Jeff Griffiths into that first corner. That unfortunately sent Jeff straight into the side of you. So you can give Mr. Ulber a little thank you card there, because it really did kind of start down on the inside run. And yeah, if I give you a little glimpse of the start on board with your man Yanis Ulber in the chopper. There he is. Yanis now on the right hand side. There you are, Mr. Armstrong, on the left there. So come jump down, but here is Yanis. Bumps Jeff. Jeff hits you, and unfortunately the flying Jeff Griffiths come and joined you. So yes, none of it was your fault, and I appreciate that, but unfortunately it was caused by an inside. So there you go. Yanis Ulber again trying to go up the inside of Enin Vizina. Made contact again. David Lawson still out in front with Gary Truby. Lawson now in the Ferrari doing an absolute stellar job. Well, that was fun. Si, what happened to you? I didn't understand. I didn't see anything happen to you. So what happened to you, Si Anthony? So please, if you can tell me, that would be absolutely amazing, because all of a sudden you just disappeared and there was nothing come up to say that you were involved in any forms of incidents. So let me know, Si, what happened there, because I didn't see, as I say, nothing showed up on screen. Lap 1 reverse grid. Have you seen some of the guys? I'm not a lap 1 hero, sorry. I don't get, sorry, I must be not paying attention to what happened, because as I say, nothing is showing up at this moment in time of anything happening to you, Si. So yeah, let me know. But David Lawson all the while is out in front at the moment. Yanis Ulber there, Enin Vizina are coming into a battle. We've got 8 minutes remaining of race 2. Here we go now. Yanis is 0.24 seconds back from Enin. Jeff Griffiths passed Josh Pratt. Well, he's passed Si Anthony, he's passed James Armstrong, but obviously these guys are out and Jeff is still managing to keep the car on track at the moment. But here we go. Yanis is now trying to send it up the inside of Enin Vizina. I got DQ'd. Oh, okay. Let me just... Right, okay, I've got you now. I'm going to presume there was car contact involved in that somewhere as well. Because obviously I'm only registered 9 off track to the car contact, and I think by what I can gather is it was a 12x. Was it a DQ? I'm sorry. So unfortunately there, guys, as well, it looks like there's been a few DQs this evening in the GT3 League. Let me have a look and see what it was set on. Clearly, maximum incidence was 12. Yes, unfortunately, it was 12. So there you go, 12 incidents in Oulton Park. Chris Edisford has been off track and has crashed and is now still down in 11th place. Let's see what happened to Chris. As we can see, Oba and Vizina there as we're coming down into Ireland. Oh, there you go. James, that's exactly what happened to me in the Audi. Exactly what just happened to Chris happened to me. Hey, Jake Terrell, how are you? Much love to you, Yanis Oba. There's spins as well, and I've done that as well in the Audi. So poor Yanis Oba there as well. That's another, by the looks of it, that's another DQ. Is that Ollie Pimley out as well? Is Ollie still going? Ollie isn't either. So is that another one? Are we going to end up with any cars left on track? David Lawson is still off track now. Let's have a look at Ollie Pimley. Looks like Ollie may have suffered as well. So yeah, how are you, mate? I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you? Welcome in. See Stephen Masters, James Connolly here having an absolute epic battle. Connolly is up back into 4th. Grant Jones up 10 places. Daryl Sharples is up 7. Half the grid, 12x. Yeah, it must be looking that way, mate. Looks like Ollie Pimley, Yanis Oba, Rob's still going. Chris is not going, so Chris looks like he's off. Jeff's off, James is off, yourself, Size, Josh Pratt, Dino Pereira. Yeah, it looks like there's a few who's unfortunately suffered the 12 X's here. One race once, a P15 reverse grid, got killed turn 1, then got DQ for 12X. Yes. Unfortunately, you did, James. And unfortunately, yeah, there's a lot of cars still not going here. But David Larson is doing an absolute stellar job in 1st place. Right, we can see Connolly and Masters now. Coming, this is the battle to 3rd and 4th. There is not many cars left out on track at the moment. Is Jeff Griffiths still going? He is. He's currently down in 12th place. He's two laps down at the moment. Rob Armstrong is still managing to run. So he's still going. Gary Truby looks like he's just been another one of the DQ system. He's now out as well. So that's boosted Rob Armstrong up into 8th place. Tight system this evening, clearly, with the 12X system. So there you go. Yeah, Rob Armstrong now up into 8th place. You know, Jeff Griffiths is up into 12th. He's only got one more lap to go, and he will jump up 3 places. So here we go, David. Closest battle, guys, is James Connolly and Eddie Vizina. Appreciate, you know, we got 3 minutes remaining. 12X seems to have done a lot of people in the race. Damien G still sitting in the pits. He's done 5 laps. He's still in the pits. But it looks like the X system has been very tight. So, you know, hey, I have to take that up when we need to. But at the moment, no, we've got 2.5 minutes remaining. David Larson is out in front. Edin Vizina is in 2nd. James Connolly, Stephen Masters this is the battle to 3rd and 4th. Grant Jones is in 5th. With Darren Sharples, though, doing an absolutely stellar job in 6th place. Joel Amos still going with what looks like a very battered half BMW there from Joel. He's got no bonnet. He's produced his own cooling system for the engine, and he's doing an absolute stellar job from them. So well done, Joel Amos, for still managing to keep the car going. Rob Armstrong, James, is up into 8th place. Stellar job for him. Jeff is there in 9th, as you can see, a full lap behind Rob. But he's managed to jump up 3 places just by doing 1 lap. So there you go. David Larson still out in pole. Don't forget, guys, as well, much love if you are here. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure, as it always is. Stephen Masters is in 4th. James Connolly in 3rd. Don't forget, guys, as well, hit the follow button. We're on 377. If you haven't followed, please do so. Yes, we've got 8 cars on track remaining currently. A very tight, what I believe, tight system of X's may have been the cause of that. So yeah, so there you go. What can we say? It was set, unfortunately, and 12X has eliminated quite a few drivers. However, Jeff is still going. Jeff is the last of the runners. He is in 9th place. David Lawson now should get one more lap in. He's just got to keep it on track. James Connolly in 3rd. Stephen Masters in 4th place. Hold on. Was there not? Anyway, never mind. Rob Armstrong still managing to go now, but here is David Lawson. He's going to be taking the white flag this time around here at Oulton Park. There's Barney on the right-hand side, waving frantically. David Lawson's just got to keep it on track to take his maiden victory in this week's GT3 League. That is it, white flag for James Connolly and Stephen Masters. Obviously, I can only see off tracks. Currently, these drivers are on 4 apiece. So whether or not they've been involved in any contact as well, this could really finish off quite well. Damien G has got back out on track and he's pulled a smart one, really. However, he has jumped up quite a lot of positions. He's in 14th. So, you know, fair play to Damien G. He's taken the car back out on track and has basically carried on here. Connolly and Masters now for Zena in 2nd. Lawson is out in front in 1st place. So, right, let's see how these guys get on as they go down into Britain's for the final time this evening. Is Masters going to try and take that podium away from James Connolly, or is he going to settle in behind him? Look at the people that are out. Truby, Pimley, Albert, Edisford. G's down 7 laps. Armstrong, Anthony, Pratt, Pereira, Valander, Burke, Toppin, Farrell, all out of this race. And that's explained why we've only got literally 10 cars still running on track. But here is David Lawson going to take your checkered flag. David Lawson there comes across the line in 1st place. There he is. Eddie Vizina comes across the line in 2nd. James Connolly looks like he's managed to hold on to 3rd. With Stephen Masters in 4th place. 0.24 seconds back now. Absolutely epic battle from them guys. Here is Grant Jones and Darren Sharples. 7th, 5th and 6th respectively there. Darren Sharples giving a good old flash of his lights. Joel Amos is the 7th place man in a very half battered BMW, getting his own engine cooling there is Joel Amos. Look at that, no bonnet on there at all. Here is Rob still going around, currently in 8th place. Yes, Lawson. Yeah, I know, stellar job from David. I know, at the end of the day, he, you know, despite what's happened to everybody DQs, we've still got to give David Lawson props. He has done an amazing job. He kept his cool, he got past James Connolly, and he manages to make it stick and take that win. So, you know, fair play, David Lawson, and he pulled away what was Gary Truby, but unfortunately it looked like Gary got involved in that incident, put limit as well. Jeff comes across the line in 8th place. Here is Rob Armstrong in 9th. So David Lawson, absolutely my man, stellar job from him. Is he still driving around? He is. Where's your victory? Get on the get in chat, Si, and tell him I want some victory donuts. If I don't get donuts, I'm not happy. So David Lawson, you better donut this car because I want some David Lawson victory donuts. I'm going to tag him actually and see if I can get him to do it. Let's see. Mr. Lawson. Let's see if I can get some victory donuts out of David Lawson. Can I get them on the start-finish straight? What do we think? Wait for it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Where are they? He better not put it in the pits. Oh, Go. We need... Go on, David! Spin up the donuts, my man. David Lawson. Taking the victory at Oulton Park. Doing donuts for me. Much love. David Lawson, you are my hero. Right, there we go, guys. That is... They've done and dusted for tonight's race. David Lawson out in front. Eddie Vecina in second. James Connolly in third. Stephen Masters in fourth. Grant Jones in fifth place. Darren Sharples in sixth. Joel Amos in seventh. Rob Armstrong down in eighth place. Jeff Griffiths in ninth. Gary Truby 10th. Ollie Pimley 11th. Yanis Olbert 12th. Chris Edison. These are the drivers that really come to cropper of the incident limit system here. Gary Truby, Ollie Pimley, Yanis Olbert, Chris Edison, Damien G, James Armstrong, Dino Pereira, Cy Anthony, Josh Pratt, Tyson Blader, Kevin Wesley Beck, Tom Farrell, and Tom Farrell actually didn't didn't start. I don't think Kevin Wesley Beck did, neither did Niall Toppin. So it looks like it's been a bit of a tough race tonight, guys. Everybody else seems to have struggled with the incident limits. Right, here we go. Now, guys, back into it as we come to the end of the race. And I think you agree that was a deserved victory by David Lawson. Absolutely stellar jobs. And I got donuts. Come on, says James in the commentary booth. Dead excited for David Lawson doing donuts in the middle of Oulton Park at the Overdeer Loop. So there you go. What more can I ask for? But that's it. That rounds up tonight's action, guys. We are back in 2 weeks' time at the 22nd of May in Interlagos, and then again on the 5th of June for the season closing Donington Park. And then we'll hopefully see some announcements of what's going to be running next season, what the cars are, what the tracks are. Let's get something out there. If you're watching, Mr. Edisford, we need announcements, we need leagues. Tell us what's going on. So that's it, guys. All from me. As I say, you can hit me up on Twitter at jparfit12 on Twitter, or head over to jamesparfit.co.uk. P-A-R-F-I-T-T, just in case you didn't know how to spell it. But I'm sure you all lovely, beautiful people know by now. Okay, much love to everybody that's joined me in chat tonight. Jake Cheryl, my guy, Sai. Coming in now after Diga. James Armstrong, thank you. Simon Bamba, Pedro Oliveira for the raid. Wango Laz 82 as well coming in. Mr. Murray Lucas, Simon Bamba for the subscription, and Ollie Pimley as well. But that's it, guys. That rounds out tonight's racing as well. When are we back? Well, when are we? We're not actually back now for 2 weeks, are we? For the P Cup. 2 weeks time for Peak Up as I just dive down and pick up my mouse that I've just managed to shoot across the floor. So it's going to be 2 weeks Thursday. 1 week on Thursday will be the Peak Up, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not, am I? No. Anyway, right. Much love, guys. That's it. That's me rounding it up. I'm off to go and watch the Grand Prix as well. So you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, guys. I might see you on the track sometime. Good night.